All right, we will get things continue to get set up. Let people kind of get here. Go. I don't think that's me. All right. Let this hang up there for a little bit. Damn, ain't nobody. Yeah, people fall off already. Anyways, what's going on, world? It's your boy, and we'll see if anybody catches this on the rebroad. This is your boy at Big Game James _36, and this is my practice report. I kind of briefly did some stuff with my JIT earlier today, right after practice, and tomorrow. I don't think he's coming to practice. I think he had enough of that. I think he's seen everything that he needed to see. It was hot as hell out there today. So we will I will probably be doing mine probably like roughly about 1 o'clock. Practice should be over around 12. So I'll probably try to get somewhere where I can record, break down different things and whatnot, and just kind of give you guys the real on what I personally saw and what I personally think about what practices what practices are like. So if you have any questions, make sure you if you are, we got the stuff up on Twitter, but definitely want to hit up the guys who are either super chats or members of the channel. We definitely will read those. I'm trying to get to the questions, because we have some people ask some really, really good questions about what went on in practice. So how I will start it off with is this, and then anybody wants to share it, feel free to do so. But how I will start it off is this, is that, Florida State actually had a really, really solid practice for where they're at currently in the grand in the spectrum. Anybody who's expecting to see perfection this early in the off season has really, really unrealistic expectations. So what do I mean by unrealistic expectations? If the offense is as good as what we think it is, and the defense is as good as what we think it is, if one is truly dominating the other, then we're probably not in a good space. There should be competition. There should be competition. There should be things that we see that will make stuff better. I'll go first by things I did not see at practice. Big Noel, if you look at his Twitter, Big Noel's thing clearly says that he's in New Jersey. So Big Noel was not at practice. My dog was in New Jersey, but we did see a lot of family members, a lot of boosters, a lot of big time boosters were at practice. And if you were take the time, if you were an all-in member of Den Media Group, you know where you could have been at FSU's football practice as a guest of yours truly. Because when you subscribe and you become a member of an all-in member, you get to live your life on game days and things in the same manner in which I would live. So I was at practice. You saw what Trey Cole was doing. You would have been able to go take some pictures. As long as you're not being a groupie, you would have been able to go and hang out and chill with all of the players. A lot of adversity. It was 100 and 1,000 degrees outside. But one thing we saw is that the guys who were the veterans clearly stood out and were able to like make the plays in which we thought they would make. Jordan Travis is still Jordan Travis. You saw them try to like help him do some things, like try some stuff. But for the most part, Jordan was making really, really good, quick decisions. And that's kind of what you want from a guy who's in his year 2.5 of starting. You want a guy that's coming out there that's being able to move the ball efficiently and crisp. That's what you want to see. Trey Benson had a couple good runs. Keziah Holmes was looking really, really good at that number 2 running back spot. But that's not taken away from anything that Lawrence Toafili is doing, because Lawrence Toafili is still like looks actually bigger, looks more explosive, looks like a stronger runner, and he's still a cheat code running routes out of the backfield. Keon Coleman really looks like he's bringing a whole new attitude to the wide receiver room and is a very good complement to what Johnny Wilson can do to the other side. If we find a guy that can really play that slot receiver position and really take the top off of a defense, woo, you talk about a whole, like, I mean, what Pokey Wilson was able to do, but even more so, like you got 2 guys that are really, really reliable, that have great catch radiuses, that could do that basically, from what I saw in practice, you throw the ball in their general vicinity and they're going to fucking catch that ball. That's what you want. Now you got a guy that keeps that safety honest. That helps your tight ends and your Jaheim Bells who did some things. And you can definitely see that from him. One of the things, the other side of it is, offensive line is an offensive line. You saw Sapp take some snaps at center. You saw guys kind of moving around all over the place. One of the most notable things is size. The size, these guys look like Division I athletes. These guys look like they belong. So it's kind of like it brings you more confidence because your trenches don't look like, don't look like they've missing meals. So you got those guys on that side, on the offensive side. Keon, like, and I'll get into some of the questions that people have. Keandre Jones wasn't there. My bad. That's why I was coming there. He was there, but he was being held out. And I'll go into the strategy of what, actually, before I even go into the strategy of what Mike Norvell is doing. The question was asked from the press numerous times about, hey, what about this player? What about Jared Verse? What about this player? What about that player? Mike Norvell actually let us know 2 years ago that he employs a strategy of making sure that his veterans and the guys who have played a lot of ball get rest days. Like, let guys heal up. Don't go and get all of the banging. So a lot of you fans who are like, one fan put, let me see if I can go find this message that I got. Hold on. What were we doing? So my bad, I got a text about something. So a fan posted this on Twitter, and it's like, prayers for Jared Verse, ruptured his Achilles and a slight tear of his meniscus, will be back in early November. And like, he posted that while practice was going on, a picture of Jared Verse fucking walking. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen anybody, like, one of the craziest screams that I've ever heard was the craziest screams I've ever heard is somebody popping their Achilles. You pop your Achilles, and anybody who watches basketball, you remember Kobe Bryant taking the shots at the free throw line, but he had to hop. That's not the guy posted a fucking picture of Jared Verse walking stride for stride. And then he said towards meniscus, like, but there's no boot. If you did those things, you're in a boot and you're in a knee brace automatically. He posted something, guys, stop being fatalistic. Stop seeking the attention. Mike Norvell's not going to tell you if somebody got injured unless it's a really, really big injury. But when people kept asking me, ain't shit, like one of my things, if something's wrong, I won't answer you. If something's right, I'll be like, ain't shit wrong. Ain't shit wrong with such and such. Ain't shit wrong, motherfucker. Ain't shit wrong. Ain't shit wrong with Jared Verse. Veteran moves. Fabo, I told you guys in Sporadics, I told you guys in numerous Seminole groups. I saw Fabo Father's Day weekend when my son went to the camp. He was in a boot, precautionary measures. He is fine. He was doing his own thing, conditioning. These guys, one thing I can promise you is that these guys are in phenomenal shape, and that Jared Verse did not forget how to play fucking football. And it's just, I don't like, again, from a fan base perspective, stop being so fatalistic. Like, step back, breathe in, and get used to having success, guys. We're here. It's going to be hopefully it'll be sustained for at least one more year, barring a major injury bug. But like, don't even speak those things into existence. So let me see, a couple people. We'll get into those things. I'm gonna try to get some of your questions, but my bad, I'm looking at the wrong way. Let me go look at you. I need to make sure some of y'all are who's you says you is. Yeah, a lot of you guys aren't. Yeah, I'm gonna answer your questions. I would love for you to be a member. I'm not gonna do you like that, but you know, we'll get to your questions here shortly. But yeah, bottom line is, motherfucker, Jerry Verse is fine. Jerry Verse is fine. What do you need to see from Jerry Verse? You know what we need to see? And if you think about what Mike Norvell is doing, it's very simple, and it's actually genius. And what do I mean by simple and genius? Like, we need to see Patrick Payton get reps. We need Gilbert Edmonds to get reps. We need Byron Turner. Byron Turner, excuse me. Byron Turner's a friend of mine. Byron Turner to get reps. We need Jones to get reps. We need a lot of these other guys to get reps to see what we can do. We need to see where we're going to put Briggs at. We need to see what a lot of these, like, instead of Fabo getting a ton of snaps, we need Fisk to get more snaps so that he can get up to date. We need Ayo to get more snaps, who, by the way, Ayo almost fucking broke my hand today. Like, Ayo got the heaviest fucking hands, second to Farmer. So, and that goes to me going back to the other spots on defense. But Mike, again, long story short, if you don't see somebody in practice, if you see the other beat saying such and such didn't practice, don't immediately just think that there's a major injury that happened. It could just be that Mike is giving such and such a rest day, and they just need to go get rehab. They need to do different things like that. Fisk is a cold ass pilgrim, a cap, if you will. I saw Fisk. Fisk looks like, I was just talking to my friend Reggie, who was just here at my crib before we came on. And I was telling him, Fisk is, if Fisk was at Montgomery with them white boys that got off that boat, it might have ended differently for some people. Not suggesting Fisk is like racist or anything. What I'm suggesting is Fisk can flip a fight. Like, Fisk can make some shit happen that's a little bit different than everybody else. Fisk is the type of white boy that you see that you like, man, I may throw some paws on him, but God, I got to drop him, because if he gets his paws on me, it's going to be a tussle. Fisk is the type of white boy that looks like he goes to the woods with a Bowie knife in his mouth to go wrestle a grizzly bear. That is what he looks like he wants to do. And I just said, damn, Fisk is that's a big ass boy right there. And what Fisk did was, I saw him in one-on-ones take an offensive lineman into the dummy, the tackling dummy, the pass rushing dummy. So it was like crazy to see him be able to do that, apply pressure up the middle. If he's able to do that against LSU, whoo, Turner and Verse are going to have some very, very good nights. Shout out to my guy George, man. Shout out to George becoming a new den mate. Appreciate that, sir. But so Fisk stood out. Somebody help me out. Who's number 97? Number 97, if somebody can help me out with that on Florida State. That's who Trey said. Trey was very impressed with 97 on defense. The secondary, I believe, really just the secondary, it was really, really good. I saw somebody ask Big Noel because Big Noel. Let me tell you how crazy what Big Noel did today. Because somebody asked if he was really at practice. It lets you guys know, and I try to tell you that the difference between, I'm inside, but not because I'm an insider, it's because I'm family. But the difference between you guys and a lot of the people that you guys like on the beat is not very much. Big No just put blanket information that kind of sounded true enough, and everybody bit it. And the crazy part is, as a guy who was out there, and he's in one of my group chats, luckily he didn't say any of the information I said in my group chats, but I'm like, yo, he wasn't really far off on some of the stuff, which is the funniest part about all of this, is that he wasn't off. He but to bring it up, shit, I forgot what I was saying with that. With Big Nose, with big to the Big No point. Somebody asked him, "Is our wide receiver core that good, or is our DBs just not that great?" And I don't really know what the other reports have been showing. But again, one of the things is, again, when you're competing good on good and you've got really talented guys, there will be times when the offense gets the best of the defense and when the defense gets the best of the offense. So you saw that at times on both sides. You saw Jordan Travis's ability to extend his legs is really, really good. You saw Keon Coleman is a cheat code, but you also saw Azara Thomas. AZ is really, really good. Cypress is really, really good. I'm going to tell you who's really, every time I see him, the MVP of the fucking secondary. Nobody's going to say this, right? Because they're afraid to say this. Because this boy, I swear to God, on everything I know, he's got little man syndrome, and I love it. This motherfucker is actually might be the best DB we have. And that's Greedy fucking Vance. Nobody's going to believe me. Nobody wants to say it. But Greedy Vance is really, really fucking good. Greedy Vance is just tiny. He reminds me of my teammate Stanford Samuels. He's going to get in there, put his paws on you, and he's actually really, 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 really good. And Greedy, shout out. This is what I'm going to tell people. There are two things on Twitter that I will not stand for. As for me and my house, we are Adam Fuller Stan accounts, and we are a Greedy Vance Stan account until we are proven wrong on this. Greedy Vance is out here holding down the slot. I saw him do some really, really good things. Every time I see him, I'm impressed. He's just not going to be the guy that's going to get drafted high, because you're going to look at him and you're going to be like, man, this guy is bite-sized. He's miniature. But Greedy Vance is just a scrappy son bitch. And that's what you need out there in the secondary. You need these scrappy some bitches that's going to go out here. Just, think about the Florida game. Greedy Vance don't cover that white boy at Florida. Man, they kept running. They kept going to the well on that fucking play. Which kudos to Fuller and those guys for the adjustments that they made, man. But Greedy Vance stand account right here, man. We will roll with Greedy Vance. Trying to think here some other things before I get into the questions that were asked. Shaheem Brown, everybody's worried about the secondary. Shout out to Sean Owens, man. Appreciate you becoming a den mate. Everybody's worried about this, the back end. I saw Akeem Dent, Shaheem Brown, Kirkland, really from out of Duval. I like what I see in Kirkland. Kirkland looks the part. Kirkland looks really, really good. I liked what I saw out of him. And that linebacker, before we get into a lot of the other stuff, another I got to come up with my bad. This is what I said. Fisk is a BAP. Fisk is a BAP, a big ass pilgrim. Blake Nicholson is a cap. That's a cold ass pilgrim. Blake Nicholson looks the part. I like him. I'm excited what I see with him. Shout out to my dog 36 though out there. Y'all know the 36. That's the linebacker. Can't think of his name right now, but we rolling with him. He's dope. Tatum Bethune, Tatum Bethune nephew, Kalen DeLoach looks great. Our linebacker core is straight. Everybody worried about the wrong thing, so we're gonna go into that. Yeah, you like that? You like the Gabe Urethra thing? So because that's what he reminds me of. So 36 is I think he's the boy out of Orlando. I think he's out of Orlando area. I don't think it's the Marco Ward. He was a linebacker. He played a lot last year. It's just names escapes me. Shout out to No Game Day. What's going on, Logan? We got to get up. I'm going to go ahead and tell you this right now. You can confirm through the chat if this is something that y'all about. If you haven't got tailgate tickets to the greatest tailgate on earth, don't know what you're doing. No offense to any tailgate, but this is way bigger than chicken fingers and BLT dip. Don't nobody love a good chicken tender like me. And don't nobody love that, especially when you get some good bread. You dip it into the BLT dip. It's amazing. Chef's kiss. But there's a fucking time and place for everything. Omar Graham. Thank you, Jeff Allen. There's a time and a place for everything. This is a big boy game, and it deserves a big boy fucking celebration. $60. All you can eat, all you can drink. Big games tailgate with Sporadics, CJ Wilson, and Unconquered 850 on your Facebook page. Come check us out. We got 4 lots with food. We got American food. That's your burgers with cheese, your hot dogs, your chickens. We'll have chicken tenders there as well. And we'll have some other foods. I may even get some baby shower meatballs. And what's that baby shower dip with the meat and the cheese and the deliciousness and the tomatoes? Somebody in the comments let me know. It's covered. What I would like to do is on Saturday, I want to have 3 shows go live from the tailgate. I would love for No Game Day to come in to the tailgate of all tailgates and shoot a live show from the tailgate of all tailgates. And we will, like everybody doing their pregame shows to be able to get the hype. If you're not in the city and if you can't get a ticket, we will have TVs at the tailgate. I repeat, if you can't get a ticket to the game, we will have TVs at the tailgate. Be in the city. Let's start showing these people that we mean business. It ain't just about the game. We mean business. So, Logan, I need you on that, bro. I need you on that, my guy. Rotel did. Thank you. That boy, V. We gotta go shooting, V. We gotta get that. So, I'll give you a time. We'll figure that shit out. We'll get all the particulars. So, y'all saw him right. Y'all saw him right now. It's committed. Everybody, Logan's little bro. That is my little bro. And my guy George, you rolling with us. You get to do whatever the fuck you want to do. You on the fam, bro. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna have the best podcast covering the Knowles, doing their thing over there. With when I say you drinking like big game drinking, you eating like big game. We're gonna have steaks. We're gonna have real barbecue, ribs and shit. We're gonna have a Cajun inspired meal there as well. So I'll be doing my post game in the stadium. George, you got post game at the tailgate. When I get done with my job, I'm gonna go over there, hop on your shit, and make it hot. So going into this right here, FSU Esquire that throws me off because my guy used to be called that. But anyways, and this is on Twitter, so I'm gonna go with Twitter first, and then I'm gonna go with the comments. I'm gonna look for the ones on here on this live. If you got a super chat, if you remember, I'm probably going to put your questions up before others as I get to it. But I'm going to try to make this show no longer than 35 to 40 minutes. So if you want it, that's how you got to go. It's following instructions, Tom. Before we get into that, make sure you all guys go like this and share it. But make sure the most important thing is make sure you push like so the algorithm can continue to press forward. My guy asked, interested in your thoughts on where the team is at this year compared to when you watched them last year in Jacks. Much deeper. A lot of the questions and a lot of the concerns that a lot of people had before, I don't really have them as much currently. And why is because I'm seeing a two deep team. And when you have a two deep team, so you go, there's 11 guys on each side of the ball, 11 times 4 is 44. You got your kicker, your punter, your long snapper that gets you to 47. Really, your 40, it's the top 50 players on the roster are really what make the team. And right now, I do believe that Florida State has 50 players that can almost compete with anybody. 50 players that will be able to compete with almost anybody. Now, does that mean I think we like I saw the Josh Pate put he thinks that we're not there. I think we could compete with Georgia. I wouldn't, but if you asked me to bet on us head to head with Georgia, I probably wouldn't feel confident right now because Georgia's been there numerous times. Same thing as Alabama. But I definitely don't see a team on our schedule that is better than Florida State with top to bottom. Anybody who's saying that right now is just playing that woe is me, I'm going to get out in front of the trolls. And if anybody knows me, I don't give a fuck about somebody trolling me. We're gonna either we're gonna win or we not. And I was speaking so confidently that we were gonna beat LSU, and last year's team is not better than this year's team. We got better where we were weaker at, and that's the reason why I believe we have one of the talented teams. And when you go back and you look at what the nation's list are looking at, we have numerous guys on the we have one of the best tight ends in the nation. Two guys on the Bolitnikov award watch list. Maxwell list. Johnny United's golden arm. You have the running back that's on the Maxwell list and the Doak Walker list. You have offensive linemen on the Remington list. You don't have numerous people at different spots and not be able to perform at a high level. So that's it. Success ain't easy. Ask, which running back do you think contributes the most outside of Benson? The easiest answer is Lawrence Toafili. Lawrence Toafili looks the part. He looks very, very much so like a Division I running back. He looks very, very much so. He's very dominant as a guy who can run routes out of the backfield, still a mismatch. I would definitely say don't lose sight to Keziah Holmes. Do not lose sight to Keziah Holmes. That man has really, really good vision. He's an explosive runner. I like what I see out of him in the backfield. I didn't really get a chance to and Campbell, which is really, really crazy because Campbell is a guy who walked on, who is probably good enough to go play at another Power 5 or at minimum start at a G5 school. Shout out to my walk-on brother over there. He's really, really good. It's tough. For the first time in a while, I can truly say we have a really, really good running back core. And even though I say a running back coach is the most useless position coach on a football field, you really need a recruiter there. I will go and say Yak, though, is a really fucking good running backs coach. He's doing a hell of a job developing these guys, and I think that's dope. How are we looking at safety? I just kind of went into it. I believe you'll see a good rotation, but I think Shaheem Brown is going to be that guy that lines everybody else up. I remember 2 years ago, they were really, really high on him, said he's going to be an NFL guy. He came in, saved the day against LSU. Very athletic, very confident. Amazing guy, like it. How noticeable is the size difference from last year to this year? Also, is there more physicality than there was last year? The best thing I can say, and I haven't posted it yet, but the best person on the beat is my son, James Anthony Coleman III. Trey 3 years ago at this same practice asked me, was this a high school team or was this a college team? And that's not a question that you want to hear. He's definitely. I said, Trey, what are your thoughts right now on this team? Do you think they're big enough? And he said, oh, yeah, they're good. Is Fentrell Cypress legit? Is a pig's pussy pork? That's how I would say that. Is Fentrell Cypress legit? Is a pig's pussy pork? Who looks good on the second string in respect to the O-line, D-line, linebackers, and running backs? At linebacker, I'm going to still go with DJ Lundy. Shout out to Carlos Heron. Appreciate you becoming a member. Don't really get concerned with those things, because I think we're going to have, and Mike Norvell has said this, we're going to have 7 to 8 offensive linemen who are going to play in a rotation. And that's kind of like an NFL. So NFL, you got your starting 5, and you got guys that can swing. And so we're going to have different guys being able to be prepared to be able to go. Just know we are good on the 2 deep as of right now. But one of the things that people always say, injuries, and like it's a reason your 3rd and 4th string player is your 3rd and 4th string player. Even Georgia's not that deep. Nobody wants to have to go into their reserves like that. And is the linebacker core the key to the defense? I think just having very good and dynamic linebacker play is going to be extremely important to this team. And the reality of the situation is everybody's worried about a flip right now. So my guy Chris, I'm not going to steal my guy Chris and CJ's thunder, but yeah, they're predicting. That's not my thing. They're predicting the flip. I don't want to say that, like, because y'all like to hold me way more accountable, and I don't told y'all, man, fuck them kids is the motto. So but that's where we're going with that, with those things. So now let's just go up. Check this out. My brother Navy Noah, what up? Tell me about the O-line. Do we have monsters on the O-line? We got some straight up criminals on the offensive line. I told you guys, I was the one who posted the picture of Roddick and Keandre Jones, and one of them, I think it's Keandre. No, it might have been, it was Roddick. Roddick looks like Suge Knight to me. So, hopefully he goes out there and is making people real uncomfortable out there, and hanging them over on the top of balconies. S. Carter asks, what is the backup center situation looking like? That's where you got Quayshawn Sapp, you got Roddick that's over there making snaps. You got a lot of guys that can go fill that position. So that was what's really, really cool, is that you've got numerous offensive linemen who can play multiple positions. So I want to make sure we put that on the so I got to make sure I push the button. I don't have my producer with me, so this is me doing my thug dizzle from the phone, so it doesn't look as clean as everybody else. Everybody else's thing. But what does the backup center look like? That's basically what the question was on a member run. While I'm looking, my guy asked me about, did your guy Sam Singleton play a running back today? I gotta get a list. I gotta get a list that has the numbers and stuff, and I'll play a little bit more attention tomorrow. I was out there with my son, and and when I'm out there with my son, they treat my kid like, one thing I will say about this staff, legit, they treat my son extremely well. That being said, I have that one got my name. I'm always watching. It's like, he'll be at my tailgate. And if y'all want to see me use my Green Acre sponsorship and blow that motherfucker up, let somebody mess with James Anthony Coleman III. So I'm always looking, even though I don't think anything will happen. But I'm like, what if somebody comes crossing my son? Y'all gonna see me on for the first time in years, y'all would have saw me on all the message boards. But the crazy thing is it's always for not, man, they treat Trey better than me. But I just being a pop. Tomorrow, he's not coming. He's getting a haircut and some other shit. So, like, I'll be out there fully exposed, looking at all the shit that we need to have And any questions that you guys have, feel free to DM me or hit me up. That anything specific, because tomorrow I'll probably come on at 1:00 and give you an earlier breakdown. Angelo Smith, will B-Mac be in attendance? B-Mac comes to all the tailgates. I think he's going to go show up to the Black Alumni tailgate first, but him, Tony Carter, a bunch of other people will do that. 55% chance I make it to the press box with the Goobers if you give me whatever's in those coolers. It is probably a little bit lower than that, but you will have a phenomenal time. I might be in the press box with you, so I may bring you a little taste of some. I think we got a pina colada moonshine, a special one that's coming up. Try to find a couple other questions that I saw up here earlier. Sorry about that. That's who that was. Thank you, George. Conrad Hussey was out there. That Hussey could play. That little Hussey show got some ball. And this is what I was looking at. How is Cryer looking? Cryer is actually for those who have never listened to me, who don't subscribe to the show and are here because they felt the need to get some seminal content. You have to forgive me how I talk. I talk the way I talk, blame it on my grandmother. But my man, I was sitting there like, who is this light-skinned ass linebacker out there doing really, really good? And I'm like, that light-skinned ass linebacker was making some plays. More downhill, not as much side to side, but definitely could add something to your linebacker core. Somebody that I think, can develop into something. You need really, in our 4-2-5 system, you need a striker and you need a guy coverage guy. So what does that look like? Tatum Bethune is more of our striker, even though nephew, don't get it twisted, nephew will knock your dick in the dirt. But Kalen is more of the guy who can shadow a quarterback, so a spy quarterback, or cover. That's kind of what you want those guys to do. Cryer is a guy who's going to probably be more of a striker. Looked really, really good. I'm actually more impressed with what they're doing in the linebacker core than what we've given credit for based on recruiting, and I'm not mad at that. So, yeah. Linebacker 3, 4, 5. I mean, we're probably about 5. We're 5 deep at linebacker. If we got to be 6 deep at linebacker, then shit. Grant Gray, I guess. I mean, I'm trying to remember which one you are. If you were you the guy with that I met after me and my son took the picture with Coach Norvell? If so, you were dope. I just can't remember. You got one. Don't blame me. Blame it on the mind, not the heart. I used to run into people for a living. One of the things that, while I got you guys here again, while we're wrapping up, so if anybody has any other questions, feel free to ask. I'll try to get to them. But once we get this channel to 3,000 subscribers, we were at like 23,100 or something like that. Well, actually, I can tell you exactly where we're at. We are at 2326. We're at 2326. Once we get to 3,000 subscribers, I will be giving away 2 tickets to the FSU LSU game, not the tailgate, but to the fucking game this Labor Day. 2 tickets, really good tickets. You'll probably be sitting next to a bunch of former players, but we're giving away 2 of those tickets for free. We'll be doing an LSU FSU breakdown show with Carter Power, who covers LSU. We'll probably have a bunch of other different guests coming on during that time, and we will give away 2 pairs of tickets once we get to 3,000 subs. If we get to 5,000 subs somehow between the next 2 to 3 weeks, I will give away 2 sets of tickets. Also, if you follow the show, we do give away, once we get to 3,000, we'll give away $300. Plus, we give another giveaway of however many likes that we have before the show comes to an end, to a lucky person who's watching. So if we get to 3,000, we'll do that. 4,000, we give away $400. Get to 5,000, we give away $500. So cold cash, hit to your to whatever Cash App or things that you have of that nature. Make sure you check out the tailgates. We have parking available to people who purchase the tailgate tickets. So now those you only have 2 weeks to really have all of this stuff given to you, because at the end of the day, I'm going to open up those parking tickets to Gym Pop. But right now, those tickets are $200 if you want parking literally right in front of the stadium. And if you want to know where it's at, go Google Ferguson Plumbing on Church Street, downtown Orlando. You will be right there. And then if you want to know where we're at, 1331 Church Street is where the parking will be at. And that's literally at the tailgate. But if you don't want to participate in the tailgate and you're looking for something to do Saturday night safe, 1331 Church Street, we will be throwing a block party on Saturday night. We'll have a live band, DJs, music, different kinds of your favorite Twitter celebrities, favorite type of people that are going to come in. We'll have we'll have food vendors, we'll have bartenders out there. If you don't want to go to the other one, it'll probably be a little bit less crowded, probably a lot better drink choices here. And remember, we don't the world life is too short to smoke bad cigars and drink cheap liquor. So we will have the best of the best liquors. Shout out, I gotta get the exact name of the company, but we just got we got 1,200 servings of beer that was just donated. We also got about 500 bottles of again, forgive me, 500 bottles. Half of it's Mick Ultra, the other half is Bud Light. I didn't know that they was going to do the thing before, but it's going to be hot. It's going to be cold. I promise you. You drink the tranny beer, you're not going to turn into a tranny. I promise you guys. It's. I don't drink beer, so if you can't deal with that, go drink the liquor like me and the real men and the real adults. We have a kids section that'll have video game trucks, other different things for the kids to be able to go do. That will have juices and all kinds of other shit for them to be able to have and partake and snack on. It's going to be a phenomenal time. We're going to start talking about our sponsors. And if you went to the Orlando tailgate, we gave away signed autographs, a signed memorabilia. We'll be giving away a bunch of different things because our sponsors are donating a lot of stuff. So on that note, since there is no more questions or nobody else posted anything, I really appreciate you guys coming up and chopping it up with me. And we will, again, tomorrow you'll get a double dose of me. You're going to get the practice report breakdown, and then we will get Big Games BS at around 6 p.m. tomorrow night, because for whatever fucking reason, my life is pushing me to do nighttime shows. If you want more Seminole breakdown and you weren't able to have your questions answered, make sure you check out Sporadics. Me and Chris Frazier will be on at 8 p.m. breaking down a lot of news. So if you want to know who the new potential flip is, we may discuss that on Sporadics. We'll talk more about practice, more questions. Make sure you like this channel. Make sure you like this show. Go and listen to the best breakdown of practice from my son, which is another show up there. Oh, my bad. Somebody asked about Keem. That's right. Keem did very well today. Keem looked really, really good today. Now, Keem got the best of a kid who's been doing really. Oh, story time. Mike Norvell getting into people. People want to know, James, what was the tweet? The pause tweet when I said I love when Mike Norvell gets into somebody's ass. And yes, phrasing was a little off. Pause, like a heavy pause on that. I wanted to actually say dig, but then I was just like, yo, that's too much. But Mike Norvell got onto Stubbs in front of Stubbs' younger brother, who can't go watch a practice because his family, who just so happens to be a kid that I coach at Mandarin. Drake Stubbs, who's really, really good safety, really got in there, really got on him. And what was great about it is it's intense, but it's loving. It's intense, but it's loving. He dropped his glove or he dropped something, and Mike ran over because he saw him lowering his head. And he said, nah, pick that shit up and get on over. And the kid head was still hung. And then he got into him. He said, no, pick your head up, blah, blah, blah. Going through it. And he said, what's going to happen? You're going to get beat sometimes. Are you going to just hang your head and not do anything about it? Or are you going to get better? It was really just kind of getting into him and encouraging them. And I'm like, we are missing that in coaching now. This ain't smiles and Hallmark cards, man. This is about real life, man. Football teaches you things in real life. You're going to get hit with shit. Let me give you a personal story about me and this book bag drop. I had an entity promise me 100 bags and 300 bags. That's 400 bags. That's $14,000. Didn't come. I got hit in the $14,000 is a lot of fucking money. I don't give a damn how much money you think I make or how much money I actually do make. So I would never let you know that. But what I did was I had a goal. People were relying on me, and I needed to make that shit happen. So I figured it out, sucked that shit up, sucked in my big ass gut, tightened my belt up before I asked for help. And I'm not gonna beg somebody. I had to go get that bread. And we had a successful book bag drive. I learned these things and these principles from Bobby Bowden. That kid is learning some real good manhood principles from Coach Norvell. And that family was really, really, that wasn't coming there like, I can't believe he yelled at my son like that. Nah, dad was like, yeah, get your shit together, son. And I loved every second of that. But yeah, I meant to talk about that there for a second. And that was Mike getting in somebody's ass. And yes, there's sporadics tonight. And my boy, I will not have folding chairs. You bring your own goddamn folding chairs. You can leave them at the tailgate and nobody will fuck with them. You can bring your own stuff. There will be a vendor out that motherfucker probably selling folding chairs. It might be me. So I would suggest you just go bring you some folding chairs. V or anybody else who probably knows me personally, I will have Griselda with me. Throw them bitches in the back of Griselda if you need to. But we will have folding chairs. We will have TVs at the event. You will be able to watch the game from any of the lots that you want to. We will have a projector inside of the covered area. Again, I want to reiterate. I didn't say it was air conditioned. I just said the bitch was covered. We'll have exhaust fans and we'll have fans going through there. But 1331 Church Street will have a covered pavilion. So rain, sleet, dark at night, we in that bitch. So on that note, I really do appreciate everybody chopping it up with me. I will not tell you guys I would not answer this question because that is not my job. That is their job to recruit those kids. And I told them that exact same thing in practice. Love you guys. Check out Sporadics tonight. Go check out my son's breakdown. It's only 5 minutes. You can go listen to that. If you want to hear Mike Norvell's post-practice interview, it's also up on this channel. Go check out other shows to see if you like this. We will see you guys. I guess I'll see you guys at 8.